Welcome back to Sometimes and Forever, the show where we pull back the curtain on the stories people think they know and give them a fresh look. I'm your host, Denny Downing, and today we're stepping into the life of a woman who, despite shaping one of America's greatest heroes, barely appears in most textbooks. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Now, if I say the name Anna Douglass to you, would you immediately know who I'm talking about? Okay. Here's another one. How about the name Frederick Douglass? Chances are you know who that is. Today we're talking about Anna Douglass née Murray, the first wife of Frederick Douglass. She was the woman who helped him to escape slavery, the woman who opened her home to runaway slaves on the Underground Railroad, the woman who kept his household running while Douglass traveled the world as one of the most famous abolitionists of the 19th century. But also, she was the woman who lived in his shadow, often unacknowledged, misunderstood, and forgotten. Let's slow it all down and look at Anna, not as a footnote to Frederick, but as a whole human being. Who was she? What did she endure? And what must it have been like to be married to a man like Frederick Douglass? Before we go any further though, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a moment to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me to go on, and it helps others to find the channel. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the show. Before she was Anna Douglass, she was Anna Murray. She was born free in Maryland around 1813. That alone was a miracle, because being a free Black woman in a slave state required constant vigilance. Your papers had to be perfect. Your life had to be perfect. Freedom was a technicality. One wrong move and the state could snatch it away. Anna grew up working as a domestic servant. What else was she going to do? She saved money quietly and carefully. And somewhere along the way, when Frederick was still an enslaved teenager named Frederick Bailey, their paths crossed. History doesn't give us the full scene here, but we can surmise that they met while the enslaved Frederick was working in Baltimore. They probably met through the Improvement Society. We know they fell in love, that they formed a bond, a deep trust that was built on courage and possibilities. And from that love came a plan. Anna would help Frederick escape, and they would get married. When people talk about Frederick Douglass escaping slavery, they usually focus on how brave he was. And he was. There's no question about it. But we have to acknowledge Anna's role. Anna wasn't just supportive. She didn't just say, "Go, Frederick, go." She was strategic. She financed his flight. She gave him the money she had saved from years of working and from the sale of a bed she owned. Anna was in every sense a partner in his liberation. Years later, her daughter Rosetta wrote that it was Anna who actually made the sailor's suit that Douglass wore for his disguise during his flight to freedom. She may also have helped him to obtain identification papers of a free Black seaman and coordinated the timing of his transportation. Think about the risk. If she were caught helping an enslaved man flee, she could have been arrested, beaten, or even sold into slavery. Anna didn't just love Frederick. She believed in his future and in what they could build together. On September 3rd, 1838, Frederick boarded a train wearing the clothes she gave him, carrying the papers she secured, and holding the hope that she nurtured. When he arrived safely in New York, the first person he sent for was Anna. This was a partnership built on love, hope, and courage. In New Bedford, Massachusetts, Anna and Frederick married and began a life that would grow far bigger than either of them could have imagined. Anna created a home that was safe, clean, and furnished with her belongings. And together, they began a family. Their lives changed in a really big way, however. In 1841, when Douglass met William Lord Garrison and Wendell Phillips, who were abolitionists who heard him speak, and they offered him paid employment as a lecturer for the Massachusetts Anti-Slavery Society. While Frederick was traveling, speaking, writing, debating, and changing history, the constant Anna remained behind the scenes. Although Douglass had gained some amount of fame and was earning money, it wasn't enough to take care of his growing family. Anna had to work as well. She took in work as a shoebinder. Frederick Douglass was a striking man to look at. We can all agree on that. He was eloquent in his speech and he could read and write. This caused many to question if he was really born a slave. To counter their arguments, Douglass wrote his memoir, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. The publication of this book caused a new set of anxieties for the Douglass household. Because now, Frederick's former enslavers could find him and take him back to a life of bondage. To avoid this, he ran away to England, where he remained for 1 whole year, or a little over a year. While he was gone, it was the strong, reliable, diligent Anna who had to care for the needs of the family, all on her own. Frederick's return to the United States didn't make it any easier for Anna because he wanted to move to New York to work for the North Star newspaper. She had to give up all she knew, the life she had created for herself and the children, and follow Douglass so he could fulfill his dreams. When they moved to New York, Anna became more quiet and reserved, but to think she was some withdrawn figure would be a mistake. Their household in New York became a stop for runaway slaves on the Underground Railroad. Here again, Anna was risking her life to help the enslaved as she had done with Douglass years before. She did this all without applause, without any speeches, and without medals. Now here's something that is very interesting about Anna. She was illiterate. One would think that a woman married to someone like Frederick Douglass would know how to read and write, but Anna couldn't. She is described as functionally illiterate. Douglass urged her to learn, but she never did. She probably reasoned that she lived so many years without being able to read and write, so she didn't need that skill. And in any case, it's not like she was stupid. She could handle money. She was the one who managed the household finances, and she did it very well. As Douglass's star rose, though, became higher and higher, it would almost seem that Anna didn't fit into his world anymore. The new and powerful people he was meeting and the constant traveling started to create this separation between them. It's almost like he was leaving her behind, and I can't imagine how she must have felt. And listen, I'm not taking away any of Frederick Douglass's shine. He did what he had to do, and like a good wife, Anna silently did what she had to do. Anna was barely mentioned in Frederick Douglass's biographies, and I think it is a shame. And to a certain extent, this is what has led people to forget the role that she played in making Douglass a household name. In a letter to his sister when he heard that she was going to get married, Douglass wrote, "You ought not to marry any ignorant and unlearned person. You might as well tie yourself to a log of wood as to do so." This sounds like he's speaking from his own experience of marrying the illiterate Anna. Now that he was worldly and exposed, he may have felt that she was plain and ordinary when compared to the women he was now meeting, and she had to him become a log of wood. Anna also had to face the whispers about Frederick's infidelity, and yes, there were other women. There was Julia Griffiths, the English woman who lived with the family for 3 years. And there was the German journalist named Ottilie Assing, who used to visit Frederick's house every summer. They would take long walks together in the garden while Anna, the forever domestic, worked inside the house. Letters between Assing and Douglass reveal that they had a passionate affair between 1856 and 1881. It is even reported that Assing told her sister that she and Douglass were united in a deeper love than many who were married. Assing, a white woman who was well-educated and well-bred, spoke of Anna as a stupid old hag and called her an unknowledgeable and illiterate creature. Asing was jealous of Anna's status as Douglas's wife and felt she couldn't appreciate Douglas's brilliance and was therefore unworthy of him. The thing that seems most disturbing about this relationship, though, is that Frederick Douglass knew how Asing felt and may even have participated in it because they had a secret name for Anna. They called her the Border State. I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to bet that Anna knew about these affairs. But her strength and her devotion to her family kept her going. Now, I'm not saying any of this to take away Frederick Douglass's shine. I really like Frederick Douglass, and I really admire what he did for the enslaved people. But I'm talking about this whole affair from Anna's point of view, and I'm putting myself in her shoes. As we can imagine, being married to a hero is not easy. Frederick Douglass was brilliant, he was charismatic and celebrated around the world, but he was also gone constantly, emotionally demanding, and focused on a mission that was larger than the family life. Anna must have felt overwhelmed at times, isolated, and let's face it, lonely. But Anna was stable. She kept the family grounded and she kept Frederick human. Without Anna, Frederick Douglass might still have been brilliant. But there is a but. He might not have become the Frederick Douglass that we all know. Anna Douglass died in 1882 following a series of strokes, and since then, historians mention her almost as an afterthought. But Anna is more than just a footnote in Frederick Douglass's life. She was an architect of freedom, a strategist, a rescuer, a mother, and a real partner. In my humble opinion, Anna Douglass's legacy is in every runaway slave who passed through her house, in every speech Frederick made because she held the house together while he worked. More than that, she is every generation of woman who has held families together with almost no recognition. Anna Murray Douglass's story is very dear to my heart. It resonates with me because in her I see someone who symbolizes the quiet revolutionaries, those who changed the world without ever being on the stage. And that is something that I truly admire. So as we close today's episode of Sometimes and Forever, I want us to remember this. Not every hero holds a microphone. Not every icon writes a book. Some heroes cook meals, provide clothing, shelter, and comfort for people who are in need. Anna Douglass was one of those heroes. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who loves looking at familiar stories with a new perspective. Please remember to subscribe and to join me next time as we uncover more stories that live somewhere between sometimes and forever.